Hi, it's Nick Vandenberg, the CMO of BlockDAG, and I'm here with Stephen Clark-Martin and Anthony Turner. And today we just wanted to obviously welcome our community. We'll be streaming this live, hopefully within the next few hours, to the BlockDAG community. And it's just incredible to be here actually in Panama, which Anthony and I were saying has been quite a trip, but it's been just the most incredible place to visit. And just wanted to say thank you so much for organizing and having us. And it's always amazing to meet your colleagues, face to face. So over to you guys.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming to Panama. I know it's a little bit warm, but I think it's very welcoming. We're glad you like the environment so far.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic being here. I mean, it's a fair trip coming from South Africa, but yeah, definitely worthwhile. Getting a bit warmer now, but yeah, beautiful city, and I look forward to exploring further.
So we've seen, from this morning that there's been an incredible number of panelists that have been really discussing the whole ecosystem around Panama. Do you want to share a little bit around, how that came to be and what Panama is doing from a blockchain ecosystem perspective?
Yeah, it's interesting. I came to one of the first crypto conferences in Panama back in 2017 when I started getting involved in blockchain around the first Ethereum DAO. Panama had started a bunch of events. And I think you'll see a couple of speakers that have been involved in the ecosystem, the greater ecosystem, for a long time. Back in 2022, on the road to DEF CON, the Ethereum Foundation came through here, and we had ETH Panama. So ETH Canal kind of extended from that. There's a number of different builders and organizations that are in Panama, kind of in the periphery and in the background. And this event is one of the events to sort of connect the ecosystem and the various players. So we're glad that BlockDAG's decided to be a part of that ecosystem.
And leveraging that, Anthony, I think for us as BlockDAG, how do you feel around the sponsorship so far? And obviously we just had a really incredible keynote in front of the audience, and really extending that welcomeness to Panama, and obviously embracing that we're open for business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm very happy that we're sponsoring the event. I mean, it's a great event to be at. There's certainly a lot of engaging discussion, and we look forward to more of that. There's a panel happening. I think we've been co-opted onto that tomorrow, which we didn't know about, but that's fine. But yeah, it certainly feels like there's a lot happening here. I mean, meeting a lot of guys that I think are going to be very good contacts, and we're going to create some good relationships.
Amazing. And I think, just having heard some of the, I don't know if they were official government representatives and what have you, but just to showcase how open, those individuals are and welcoming and embracing this crypto world. And, that's always the interesting thing. It's like merging the Web 2 and the Web 3 environments together, and you realize it's actually just e-commerce and business and just getting on with it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. A few years ago, one of our speakers reached out to me. He's the VP of Innovation for Latinx, which is the Panama stock market. And they started looking at Ethereum-based stuff around from Hyperledger to modernize their IT stack. They saw that Chile has done that. And over the last couple of years, they've been doing more and more things. Tomorrow, the President of Panama, President Melino, is speaking at Panama Blockchain Week, really close to where we are, as is the Mayor of Panama City, Mayor Maserati. They're basically announcing that Panama is committed to the crypto ecosystem and enabling organizations to embrace blockchain technology. So over the last few years, since this ETH Panama, ETH Canal thing started, I think Panama's just basically has institutionally, from the universities to the government, have just acknowledged that it's an important part of the IT stack.
I mean, that's really incredible. I mean, Anthony, for us, sorry, I'm on both sides here. For us as BlockDAG, I mean, that bodes well where you can, engage with an open-minded, forward-thinking, a government in embracing the blockchain. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what's interesting, and I think, Stephen, you've mentioned it previously, is that because of the fact that there is no specific Panamanian currency, and there seem to be lower regulations around these sort of things, it seems like it's a lot easier to get things done. And obviously that certainly helps us, and it certainly helps the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. The way it is that Panama doesn't have an official currency. It's the largest country without a central bank, and we have a territorial tax system. So that's allowed for a lot of experimentation in real-world assets, in token projects, in DAOs and DAO governance, in DeFi, and all of those related things. So we've seen a lot of large organizations. Probably one of the most notable is like Mantle. They have their DAO treasury here. It's a $4 billion DAO treasury. A number of different DEXs operate from here, and more companies are placing some of their foundations and those types of things in Panama so that they can operate. That doesn't mean that they are skipping compliance. Every organization that I've encountered in Panama has done so with full engagement from compliance officials, lawyers, and everyone going out of their way to do the right things. And this is why the government has basically said, we don't. There's always scams in some kind of way, in some minor little projects, but the larger entities that are operating here are doing so in very professional and the best of ways. So I think it bodes well for the ecosystem, the Americas in general, and LATAM specifically.
I think what we're noticing, and I mean, certainly the conversations, Anthony, we've had with some individuals on the ground, is how hungry this market and this region is, specifically for what we're able to deliver, from our product perspective. And that was quite an interesting take for me, just engaging with these communities where there is this, a need to solve real world problems on the ground. And I mean, in your keynote, there were some questions pertaining to, another layer one, what are we bringing to the table as BlockDAG? And I think, if you want to comment on, it's really around engaging with communities where there's this hunger and there's this need to solve the problems. And we're certainly empowering them to do so by providing the infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. I mean, I think I'm quite surprised. So going back a bit, I never expected that we'd be as sort of engaged or in terms of a region here. I think my expectation was probably that Asia would have been a stronger focus. But I mean, very quickly, and maybe it's also the benefit of having Stephen here, that certainly has helped us direct our focus. But yeah, I mean, it's very refreshing to see how how quick the conversations move, and who's open for business to discuss working with us to help us get into the region. So yeah, I think we can expect a lot of engagement in this region.
Well, yeah,
I'd add that one of the things that we've seen as an ecosystem. Over the last few years, I think everyone acknowledges that the Ethereum ecosystem continues to evolve, and I think BlockDAG's an important part of that future. There have been a lot of projects and initiatives from various L2s. We don't need to name them specifically,
sure.
But some of the speakers have worked for those L2s, and one of the challenges for institutions that are looking for institutional grade projects is they've had to decide on which L2 they build. And I think one of the advantages of BlockDAG and for people to engage in the BlockDAG ecosystem is that we have a performant EVM compatible chain. So they can start with us and remain with BlockDAG for the foreseeable future. The alternative is going away from the EVM to other, we don't need to name the projects, but let's call it Solana, for example. I think at the end of the day, banks, small builders, medium-sized builders are looking for performance and not having to navigate the myriad of complexity that is the L2 ecosystem today. At least that's my thinking.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I think you nailed it there in the thinking. And Anthony, I don't know if you want to comment, but there is something unique around what we're bringing to the table. It's second, third mover advantage as you utilized in your keynote, and I think that's quite critical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we have the benefit of coming after the others, learning from it. I mean, I think Ethereum has a challenge ahead. I mean, they've navigated it fairly well. They've moved past some of their previous challenges, but I think it's a recurring challenge that time will tell whether they really get past that. And we have the advantage of starting with a performant EVM chain that's way ahead of them. And the question then is, do we now or do we ever need layer 2s? And I'd hope not. I hope that we can scale quicker than we need to.
I think user adoption is the big thing. One of the things that I saw with BlockDAG is appealing to, normal people that might engage in sports, might engage in, creativity and entertainment. I think at least what I've observed is that there's a heavy focus on research and development, which I'm a geek, I appreciate that. But, real world adoption requires unlocking technology as an enabling tech thing. The internet went away, right? There used to be a bunch of internet companies. That concept went away. We're just using Amazon or using Google because the tech stack isn't as important as what people build on top of it.
Certainly, and I think that's the key is for us from BlockDAG's perspective, it's providing that infrastructure, providing the use cases, and empowering the community of builders, businesses, governments for that matter, to actually start leveraging what we're putting out into the market. So thank you very much to everybody. I think that this has been our first podcast. I'm actually going to look to the camera there. And we've got these planned throughout the course of this week, and looking forward to later sessions tonight. We've also got our poker game tonight, actually.
Absolutely.
And there will be some announcements from yourself, some partnerships that we're going to be announcing hopefully later today, and that will obviously fall through to the next session's podcast. So thank you, everybody. Look forward to hearing from you within the social channels as we're going to be streaming this across the BlockDAG network. So thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Stephen. Really appreciate being here. It's been incredible hospitality so far. So looking forward to more.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Good being here with you.